Hey, kid, what'd you think about aim assist?
I prefer skill over cheats. It's literally not cheats, MKB is way superior. It is not. You're just gonna get downvoted by all the controller monkey brains. This is why democracy fails.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy shit online about aim assist. A lot of name calling, a lot of finger pointing. But honestly, what I find missing most from these discussions online is a baseline understanding of aim. Everyone's talking in these broad, sweeping statements. Oh, mouse and keyboard are so much easier to aim with. Okay, but what parts of aim are easier? And why? And how much easier? Aim assist is so overpowered. How so? Do you actually know where the aim ends and the assist begins? Or are you just dismissing a player's skill because of some vague notion like aim assist bad? Only once we've answered questions like these are we ready to ask, is aim assist too strong? So to help break down aiming, we're going to be looking at two different players. On the left is my friend MattyOW, who plays FPS games casually and is currently ranked Plat in Apex. And on the right is MattyOW, one of the best aimers in the world, winner of the Red Bull Ready Check, a competition to find the best aimer in the world. It included household names like It's Timmy, Shazam, Zealous, and others. I mean, this guy is an absolute monster. To start with, we're going to be looking at tracking aim. We will touch on flicking, but for now, bear with me. The way I like to think of tracking is having 4 steps. Step 1, reaction. Step 2, adjustment. Step 3, landing. And step 4, speed matching. Let's start with the first step, reaction. Imagine you are tracking a target when suddenly it changes direction. The faster you realize your target is moving the other way, the better. Our side-by-side comparison here is pretty simple. Matty is reacting way faster than MattyOW. Look at how when the target changes direction, there is a noticeable pause before MattyOW reacts. Switching over to Matty's gameplay, you can see how much quicker he's reacting to the bot's change in direction. In fact, he's reacting so quickly that sometimes his crosshair is not even going off the target at all. Now naturally, there's always going to be a human limit here. If the target's moving fast enough, the natural human delay means you're losing time on target. Step 2, adjustment. Now that we've realized our target is moving in the opposite direction of our crosshair, we need to adjust back on target. Of course, the faster you can flick back to the target, the better. But the faster you flick, the harder it is to be accurate. Notice how much faster and more accurate MattyOW's adjustments are back onto target. You can see in this clip that MattyOW is consistently under-flicking or over-flicking to the target. Now look at how much more precise these adjustments from MattyOW are. He consistently flicks quickly and accurately back onto the target. Step 3, landing. Great, you've adjusted back onto target, but now you need to slow down and once again match the target's speed. The goal is for this transition point to be as buttery smooth as possible. Watching MattyOW's aim, they're basically coming to a complete stop after the adjustment. Now, this looks pretty bad, but I promise you this is a pretty common problem. A lot of people will end up tracking in a series of segmented flicks rather than transitioning into that smooth tracking motion. The cause of this is usually something called tension. Now, there's already a ton of really good videos about tension and tension management on YouTube, many of which by MattyOW himself, which I'll link to here. The long and short of it is that in order to make a nice snappy adjustment, you need to tense the muscles in your arms in order to flick your mouse and make a sudden stop. But to once again resume a smooth tracking motion, you need to relax the muscles in your arm. It is at this transition point between flexed muscles and attempting to once again relax them where a lot of the human imperfection gets introduced. Step 4, speed matching. This is probably the step that most people think of when they hear tracking. It sounds simple on paper, just move your crosshair at the same speed as the target. Of course, the problem is, the human body is actually pretty bad at doing, well, anything with perfect smoothness or consistency. I mean, take a look at both players. You can see those human inconsistencies on display. Even Matty, the god that he is, has notably flawed aim. You can see his crosshair slightly speeding ahead or slightly lagging behind the target. Now that we better understand aim, it's finally time to talk about how aim assist assists in modern titles. Most modern implementations of aim assist kick in with 0 milliseconds of delay, meaning as soon as your crosshair falls off the target, the aim assist will attempt to correct. Bungie games historically have very strong aim assist. Let's take a look at an example from Marathon. Here you can see that as soon as my crosshair falls off the target, the aim assist attempts to correct with 0 delay. Also note on the bottom right that I am not touching my right thumbstick during this example. Clearly, aim assist offers a lot to improve a controller player's reaction. But out of all the steps, I think where a controller actually needs the most help is in step 2, adjustment. Because your thumbstick needs to return to the center in order to stop, you're never going to get the kind of snappy adjustments that are possible on M&K. This is where rotational aim assist comes in. The idea is that as long as you are moving your character, the aim assist will help center your crosshair on the target. Now, the severity of that assist depends on the title. A game like Marathon or COD is pulling your crosshair a lot harder than in a game like Apex. Additionally, most aim assist systems will slow down your crosshair when it is over a target. In my experience, this creates super smooth landings because the game helps decelerate your aim. Now, as for speed matching, interestingly, this may be the only area of aim where a controller can compete with M&K without aim assist. Once you find the correct angle, simply hold your thumb still and enjoy near perfect smoothness. Of course, finding that perfect angle is easier said than done. That's where aim assist comes in. It's going to reduce the burden of precision needed to find that perfect angle. Here's my quick aside on flicking aim, or click timing aim. Really what clicking is basically just step 2 adjustment and step 3 landing repeated over and over again. Although perhaps I would reclassify step 3 as micro adjustment rather than landing, as you are simply just trying to micro adjust to a static spot rather than flow into a movement. Here I would say that the advantage M&K has is even more substantial. But aim assist still helps quite a bit, especially with that micro adjustment step that's very similar to landing. It helps center your crosshair better. My final note is that even for weapons that traditionally are flicking weapons, like semi-automatic guns, the faster their fire rate, the more the line blurs between tracking and flicking. Think the wingman in Apex. You can kind of shoot it almost like a tracking gun. There's a good reason I'm contrasting pro aim with what an amateur M&K player looks like. It's also why I included footage of me playing on controller. People get so tunnel visioned on what the inputs look like in the hands of the pros. They start saying things like M&K is so easy, or that controller plays itself, but have lost sight of how much effort and skill these things actually take. Now, let's dig into aim assist in 2 specific games, Apex and Marathon. Let's start with Apex. In Apex, the level of aim assist is relatively weaker compared to Marathon. The rotational aim assist doesn't center your crosshair as heavily, and the slowdown is less pronounced. Controller players still have a notable advantage in the 5 to 20 meter range, particularly with SMGs. An analysis was conducted of a custom training game mode called R5 Reloaded that pits 2 players in a close range 1v1 with no cover. This graph shows that 60% of controller players are more accurate than the top 1% of M&K players. Of course, this data set is biased by the custom game mode. No cover, mostly SMGs, 5 to 20 meters. This is a controller player's dream scenario. Regardless, how is such a striking disparity possible? I mean, we know M&K is the better input for aiming, and yet, with aim assist, controller is able to surpass M&K's accuracy. What is it doing? How is this possible? I believe this is possible because aim assist helps out just a little in all the areas of aiming: reaction, adjustment, landing, speed matching. And all these little improvements combine together into a big consistency megazord. Yes, consistency. Because it's not about the peak performance. It's about what you can expect out of your aim 90% of the time that makes the biggest difference in the end. Yes, you can find a clip of some god M&K player aiming perfectly and it looks crazy. But I promise you, even the best players aren't doing that every single time. That's just how humans are. Sometimes we react slow, sometimes our hand twitches, and we lose that smoothness and we lose that perfect landing. But aim assist is going to deliver every single time. It will always react properly every single time. It will always smooth out your crosshair every single time. And that's the real strength, it's the consistency. Now let's get this out of the way right now. Controllers still take skill. I mean, they have their own bell curve. There are good controller players and bad controller players, and there's plenty of agency in the player's hands. Compare my gameplay right now to Imperial Howl. There is a notable difference in the quality and consistency of his aim. Honestly, picking up controller for myself has really just made me amazed at how good pro roller players are. But what about outside of that 5 to 10 meter range? Well, in Apex, I would say using a controller at range is much harder than M&K. You generally have to lead your shots, which takes away from the advantages that rotational aim assist provides. And you have to handle a significant recoil pattern. This is definitely an area that I personally have struggled with. I mean, a pro like Verhulst makes this look so easy. Look at this recoil control from him. But then, when you watch me play, my goodness, it's bad. I mean, look at this. And this wasn't even my first attempt. I really was trying multiple times to get a good clip. Now, close range aim matters a lot more than long range in Apex. So, to offset that advantage, Apex has intentionally created other areas where M&K excels. First off, mouse and key is far superior in the area of movement. Apex offers a host of advanced movement tech that is either completely inaccessible or at least highly difficult to perform on controller. Stuff like tap strafing, lurching, mounted boosting, super gliding, wall bouncing, and whatever this is. Additionally, only M&K players are able to loot death boxes while moving their characters. Not to mention, a mouse is just better at managing inventory. Fast looting and inventory management is a key part of Apex. As always, consistency is king. Ensuring the highest success rate in close range fights, which are the most punishing and highest risk, is a big deal, and it takes a lot of other game systems to outweigh this benefit. All of M&K's advantages in long range, movement, and looting are required to bring the input to the same level of viability as controller. But thanks to the intentional design decisions of Respawn, I believe the game has landed in a spot where the two inputs excel at different things, but are truly balanced. Now, let's take a look at Marathon. First off, the aim assist is much stronger in Marathon. As you can see, even me, a novice controller player, is getting a ton of assistance here. I find that for controller, long range in Marathon is much easier than in Apex. There's still significant aim assist, and I very rarely find I need to lead my shots. Recoil patterns are much simpler, and if you equip the right barrel, it becomes even easier. Not to mention that the two endgame maps, especially Cryo Archive, are notoriously close range. Additionally, there are less movement options in Marathon, and those that do exist are hardly exclusive to M&K. Although I do agree M&K is slightly better at executing movement, I don't feel especially limited when playing on roller. The single greatest advantage controller holds over M&K in Marathon is that aim assist helps cut through the ridiculous level of visual clutter and high contrast lighting that's in this game. Let's take a look at some examples. Check out this clip from a Zilbrad video, and notice how late his reaction is to this thief moving left. But look at the visual clutter here. One moment there's this spray of particle effects and light, and suddenly the thief is just to the left of his crosshair. With this level of visual clutter, it's really hard to react to your opponent moving. Don't worry, Zilbrad, I've got you. It's the game's fault, it's not your fault, your aim's great. You're definitely not over-adjusting on this destroyer like crazy. It's not just particle effects. Look at how obscured this thief is in a black skin in dark lighting. Also notice how my gun's view model is popping up and blocking my view of the opponent multiple times. It's even worse on Cryo. Look at how hard it is to see these players Drewski's shooting at. Or even right here. I mean, what is happening on my screen right now? Dude, when you hit a shotgun shot close range in this game, I mean, look at that, dude. It is crazy. When I play this game on M&K, I often find myself feeling blind, like I'm guessing where my opponent is. Bullet magnetism helps mitigate this a little bit, but I still think it's a problem. Going through fights in this game is like every frame a painting, except every frame a visual effects nightmare. And this is why I think aim assist is really strong in Marathon, because when your eyes get lost to the visual clutter, you can fall back on the aim assist to help guide your hand. A common thing I see brought up is that M&K is better at looting and inventory management. While this is true, I don't find that in Marathon, especially compared to Apex, super fast looting is necessary. The loot reveal system bottlenecks your top looting speed, and you can't move and loot. In Marathon, looting is something that should be done after securing your surroundings rather than in the heat of an active firefight. Personally, I haven't felt held back when looting on controller. Yes, it's slower, but not debilitatingly so. All of these things added together is why I believe controller is the better input in Marathon. But that still leaves the question, is aim assist too strong? What impact does input balance have on a game? Listen, not every game needs to have a perfect 50-50 balance between inputs. Some games are traditionally controller games, like Halo. I mean, there's something about shooting a battle rifle with a controller in your hands that just feels right. It's magical. It takes me back to being a kid playing Halo 3 again. And if your response to complaints about aim assist in a game like that is, hey, I like the way that the aim feels with this level of aim assist. And if you're an M&K player, then switch inputs or suck it up. Then honestly, I think that's valid. It's similar to how Counter-Strike is an M&K game, you know? It always has been and always will be. And there's no aim assist in that game because that's the way the game was designed. Because hey, aim assist is a game design decision, and input balance is a game design decision. But oftentimes I find that the response to complaints about aim assist is instead that, oh, the aim assist actually isn't strong. Or that, oh, M&K is so easy to aim with. Why are you even complaining? And when I see stuff like that, it's frustrating because it feels like we can't even agree on what's in front of our faces, right? It's like we're arguing on whether or not the grass is green. And last I checked, it's green. But hey, I promised my opinion on what I think is the correct level of balance, what I think is the correct design decision. And so here it is. For my money, I think Apex is pretty close to what I like for input balance and aim assist. If I could still change something though, I probably would nerf aim assist a little bit more and give controllers the ability to tap strafe. When I play controller in that game, the number one thing I'm missing is the ability to tap strafe. I mean, it adds so much to the game, it's so fun, and it's a shame that controller players can't do it. And on the other hand, when you're playing M&K and you start playing the really good controller players in like Masters Plus, it does kind of feel like every time you take a close range fight, you're just gambling. You're playing as the house, and eventually the house is going to come to collect because the controller players are just so much more consistent than you. You miss a couple of shots and you're just dead. And that is frustrating. As for games with stronger aim assist like COD or Halo, etc., I'll be honest, I don't like it. I mean, obviously I'm biased, I'm an M&K player. And when there's aim assist that's that strong, you're kind of transcending what's humanly possible. I mean, you just will not be able to compete with it, even on M&K. And obviously, that's frustrating. It doesn't really make the game enjoyable. I still think it's a shame for controller players too, though. When you have aim assist that strong, all you really do is squish the skill range down for controller players. I know how good controller players can be. I mean, there are psychos that can make controller look viable in Counter-Strike with zero aim assist. And when you have aim assist that strong, you lose some of that skill expression. It's hard to marvel at, a god like Scump or someone because the aim assist is doing so much work that you sort of come into the situation where if everyone's super, no one is, You lose that wow factor of a really skilled controller player just fragging out. And I think that's a shame. There's a ton of things that I haven't covered in this video. Stuff like what setup are you on? Are you on console? Are you on a high-end PC? What's your frame rate? All these sorts of things. But, there's just too much to cover because it's such a complicated topic. So if you have more to add, if you have more to say, drop a comment, get in the discussion. I'll be reading it. And if there's anyone out there in the endless void, thank you. Thank you for watching the video. Appreciate it. Hope you liked it. Goodbye.